Hey there YouTube, and welcome to the Mighty Ferret's Nerd News 12th of October 2013. Now, first of all, a couple of apologies. First of all, I'm sorry about the audio quality this week. It's because I'm recording directly onto the video feed rather than what I normally do, which is record the video on one and then this audio on Audacity on a separate program. This is all as one. It's just a streamline in the recording because of the second apology, which is the lack of videos as of late. The lack of videos is because of I've been very busy at work and also very busy with a project for the channel. You will see what that is later. No set release yet. It is in the works. Just it's at the various stages. So it probably, if it is this year, it won't be until late November at the very earliest, I would say, but chances are it probably won't be until next year. So now that that's out of the way, those are the apologies. Now we get down to the real news. Now there's not a lot of news this week because the project hasn't given me time to research, but there is some big news stories that there is. First of all, the release of Pokemon X and Y. Now, I've been watching a video. This is today, the 11th. Apparently, you can buy it in Britain. Now, I don't know the international release dates, and obviously, Italy and China have already released, and apparently it's tomorrow that it's supposed to be released, or today when you're watching it. I don't know the release dates, but the release date is soon. This is very exciting. I am a fan of the Pokemon franchise. The only problem is I can't get this game because I don't have a 3DS. Now, it is quite interesting in the fact that it's actually using the 3D function. Now, it's also whole new Pokemon, so it's a whole new region, whole new generation, with the new starters, new programs, but also you have Mega Evolutions, which is really interesting, which is taking a whole new spin on the current Pokemon that exist. Also, obviously, with the traditional thing of X and Y, it's like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, stuff like that. There's always one, and then the counterpart where you can only catch certain Pokemon in one and certain Pokemon in the other. This is standard of all Pokemon games, but with the new starters and stuff and new physics that they're using, because I've actually seen gameplay footage of like the early stuff of obviously trailers, which you've probably seen as well. It's looking like it's not done like the standard Pokemon game. Now that that's out of the way, because obviously I don't have enough news. That another news, which is more likely to please you Whovian fans out there. Yes, the fans of Doctor Who, because 9 new episodes, or sorry, 9 lost episodes of Doctor Who have been discovered in Nigeria. What they were doing there, I don't know, but they have found some of the lost episodes from Patrick Troughton's era, 1966 to 1969, specifically the Web of Lies episodes bar 1 and another story arc which I can't remember. Obviously I've not seen the episodes. I wasn't around in the 60s. I'm not that old. But yes, this is quite pleasing because obviously with the 50th anniversary next month, it is good that they have found more of the classic episodes. Of course, the thing is, there's also quite a few still unaccounted for. Now, thankfully, that's all the news, because we have Pokemon X and Y I don't know much about. The Doctor Who, it was found in Nigeria, they found new episodes. There's not a lot to cover about that. So we can go straight on to the convention section with the upcoming conventions. Now, once again, I won't be at any of these conventions. Putting that out there right now, I don't go to conventions very often. In fact, I've been to 2 in my entire life. Of course, I do want to change that. Now, obviously, if you haven't seen the first episode, it works that I go anime conventions, sci-fi conventions, game conventions, comic conventions, furry conventions, I include those as well, horror conventions, literature conventions, and steampunk conventions. Now, in this segment, I will be glancing to the side a lot. That's just because I've got the information on my other screen, because there's quite a few of them. Now, to the Americans out there, if I say a state and it's wrong, like I give the 2-letter code and it's wrong, that's because I don't know your states, because obviously I live in Britain. So, that out of the way, we're going to start with anime conventions. Now, these are anime conventions that will start today, the 12th, not yesterday when I'm recording this, which is the 11th, although there is quite a few, sadly. Now, today in Penfield, New York, we have Festival of the Dragons. Now, Festival of the Dragons is an anime convention located, by the looks of it, just northeast of Rochester in Penfield area. That is actually on one of the just north of one of the Great Lakes. It is apparently a free community event hosted by the Ryucon group. So there is that. It is at the Rothfuss Park, 16488 5 Mile Line Road. That is where this convention will be between 10 AM and 10 PM. Now obviously, like I said, I won't be there. It's in America. That's kind of expensive. The next one we have is... oh, I tell a lie, I've missed one. There is also Iber Anime, which is in Gondomar in Portugal. Now, cross my fingers. Yeah, that's in Gondomar in Portugal. It doesn't actually give me an exact address, I'm afraid. Well, it says Palvia Multisos de Gondomar. So, if you're in Gondomar in Portugal tomorrow, and this one actually does go until the 13th as well. So if you're on tomorrow or today, there you go. Between the 18th and the 20th, now I should explain that obviously upcoming conventions only go between this Saturday the 12th and next Saturday the 19th. So if it obviously ties over the 19th, then it doesn't matter. But we also have Fandom Con in Pensacola in Florida, which is apparently the 4th year con. There will be concerts, cosplay. It's not really an anime con without cosplay. Now, also another apology, I'm just looking at the feed. I'm sorry about if the light goes a bit weird. It's quite cloudy outside, and all this light is just natural sunlight. It's got cosplay, typical of an anime con. In fact, hopefully typical of any con. Kind of what makes the con, the cosplay. Sorry, I'm just reading this. Apparently it has Quidditch. Okay, if you go to Fandom Con 2013, yeah, let me know what that is, because I am curious how they do Quidditch in real life. Also, video games, art, movies as well. This is between the 18th and the 20th in the University of West Florida Commons. It's 1 PM to 12 AM on Friday. Then Saturday it's 9 AM till 12 AM. And Sunday is 10 AM till 6 PM. Now that's quite interesting. That's a convention that lasts over 3 days and ends at midnight. Now most conventions you don't really hear a lot going on later at night, so I'm curious about that one. But once again, not going to be there. We have another anime convention. No, literally that's what it's called. It's called another anime convention. This one is in Manchester, NH. I don't know what that is. Sorry, New Hampshire. Thank you, Google Maps. It's between the 18th and 20th and will be held in the Radisson Hotel. So that is that. There's not a lot of information about this one, sadly. And that is all the anime conventions. Now we have sci-fi. Now some of these will cross over. Need to find my... there it is. Okay, we have Contraflow, which is in New Orleans, in Louisiana. Yes, I got that right. Oh, that's between the 18th and 20th, but apart from the events that's going on, there's not actually a lot of information about this. Only guests of honours in the events. Sorry about that, guys. Ooh. We also have another one between the 18th and 20th in St. Paul, Minnesota. This is called Arcana, and apparently is a short convention focused on dark fantasy. That's literally all it has on it. So yeah, there's that. So Arcana, dark fantasy, I'm assuming it's like more the dark side of fantasy, like, you know, kind of, I'd say more H.P. Lovecraftian by the sounds of it, but I couldn't say. We also have Fandom Con in Pensacola, Florida, fits into this one as well. I've already given you that. Conjecture and Concord. Myth, magic, music, and mischief combined. It is an educational and literally orientated sci-fi fantasy convention. And Concord is a Southern California folk music convention. Something tells me that's a spell mistake, and that's in San Diego, California. Now this is quite an interesting one because it focuses more on literature. Now, this is actually a convention that interests me as a wannabe author. Hint, that's what one of the projects might be. So yeah, this is in San Diego, California, and this one sounds actually quite interesting. Mile High Con in Denver, Colorado as well. Oh God. Sorry about the dead space. I'm just looking at this because this one seems to be another literature one, but there's a lot of information, but it doesn't actually say where it's. Oh, hold on, yes it does. It will be at the Hyatt Regency Hotel Tech Center. I probably pronounced that wrong. Yeah, so there's that. And then there's another one called in Tampa, Florida, called the Necronomicon. Now, this one must be Lovecraftian because the greatest work of H.P. Lovecraft is called the Necronomicon, and obviously, I'm assuming it's referring to that one, not the Book of the Dead. This one is it's fantasy and horror. Yes. It say where it's held? No, it doesn't. It just says it's in Tampa, Florida. But yeah, these ones are quite interested as well. Oh, and the guest of honor is Christopher Paolini, which is the author of the Eragon series. Well, sorry, the Inheritance series, which is obviously Eragon, the movie that you've heard of. They're actually books of Eragon, Eldest Brisingard, and Inheritance. Now, I've not read these, but the movie is good, and I do own the books, so that will be interesting. And that's next week. Damn. Sorry, I just noticed the one next down to it, which is next week. You'll find out next week, but as if I remember to do one of these. The next one is game conventions. Now this one should be interesting. Oh. Sorry, I was just looking at this. Normally they're in order, but they've messed this one up, considering the first one on the list is the 27th to the 1st of December, 20th of November to the 1st of December, and then it's conventions that are on. So we have, between the 18th of comedy, we have Charcon in Charleston, West Virginia, which has also been listed twice. Which is the West Virginia Gaming Convention. It doesn't say exactly where it's held, although the interesting thing is they're doing Pathfinder and Shadowrun, so this one sounds like a Dungeons and Dragons convention. It's good to know because I can let you know that there may be something like that coming up on the channel. We also have... those are next week. That's all we have because they've listed the same one twice. Comic conventions. Yeah. Between the 17th and 18th in St. Paul, Minnesota, we have the MCBA Spring Con Comic Book Celebration. So yeah, that's in St. Paul. I'm not reading all this because there is literally a wall of text. I'm only taking this off of one site, so I'm not going to each individual website to get information, so there may be more, so you never know. That is actually the only one this week, although I have just looked and there is actually one here next week after even. Yeah, not next week but the week after, of one that I've actually been to, so I can actually give a review on that one. Obviously not this one because this convention's held multiple days. So the next one is furry conventions. Now obviously, like I said, I am a furry. So far we only have on this site, now this one I can go to a different site because I know of another site that gets them. We have Oklahoma in Watonga, Oklahoma, which is actually an outdoor convention, which I've heard a lot about, and obviously once again not been. I do want to go to this one because it is actually a camping one. They do like RPGs and stuff. So yeah, but in other furry conventions, I can pull up a further list. Sorry about the flourish there. Ooh. Hopefully this uploads, because I've just noticed this is actually over 15 minutes, so I don't know if this will upload. So we also have Furloween in Florida, which is in Orlando. So there's that, which is obviously it says it's typically the Saturday before Halloween, but it is actually on the 19th this year rather than 26th. We've also got the Great for Escape, which is a furry outing held at Alton Towers. Now obviously I've not been to this one, I have been to Alton Towers. This one is in the UK, so there is that as well. Obviously some of these I don't know a lot of information about. Oh no, sorry, Great for Escape starts on the 19th and 20th, so that is technically next week. So there's that. That's all the furry ones. Yeah, conventions, I do this convention section. There won't be a lot around about this time of year because obviously most of the conventions happen in summer. So yeah. And then we have the horror conventions, which is only Necronomicon, which I've already read out. Literature, read out, not on yet. So I've also read out all of those. Jesus Christ. And there's none of those because they all started yesterday. Monday, and okay, there's Steampunk Convent in. I'm not going to try and pronounce that, in Sweden. It's been posted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So I don't know if it's a good count or not, because it's like I said, it's 10 times. So yeah, there is that. That is all this week. I will see you next week for the next one. The next video should be out on Monday, which is the Minecraft Mod Monday. Like I said, should, because it depends if I can find a mod to review and if I'm not busy, because like I said, this project is taking up a lot of time, which may affect the video schedule further. I will try and do at least one of these vlogs a week though. This will be the constant YouTube video that I do. This will be the one that is always there. Obviously, if this one isn't there, it means I'm physically unable to record because like my computer's broken, or I'm very ill, or I'm not at my computer. So yeah, I will see you on Monday for Minecraft mod review, hopefully. Then, like I said, I can't record Cube World, so that's another thing I could cause it if it's actually Fraps that's playing up and not Cube World. I can't record Cube World, unfortunately. It's not letting me record it, so I can't do the playthrough for that. I will get the Kerbal Space Program playthrough. There is a few mods installed in Kerbal Space Program, which you will see. It is a mod, the one I'll probably be using is a mod that lets you build light aircraft and helicopters. The other mod I have installed, which I probably won't be using because it's kind of a cheap thing, is the TARDIS. So that'll be my last resort. Like, if I can't get to a planet, which is one of the goals, I'll just go, screw it, TARDIS, whee! But even then, it's still hard to land. So yeah, I will see you when I see you guys.